So in this video, I'm going to be reviewing my experience at the Library of Congress's National Book Convention 2024, and I went there on August 25th, I believe. It was a Saturday, and it was a full-day event hosted by the Library of Congress that took place at the Walter Convention Center in Washington, D.C. I'm sure like at the beginning of the video you guys saw like the little spiel of videos that I posted from the convention, and now in this video I'm just gonna be telling you guys what I thought and what I did. So the first thing I'm gonna say is that they give you this like nice big schedule and map once you enter the convention, but you should have it like downloaded on your phone or like printed out, because you're gonna have to move quickly to like each of the places just because there are long lines everywhere. And before I like start reviewing, for any of you guys who don't know, this is a book festival hosted by the Library of Congress where they bring together a lot of authors to like host sessions where you can sit and listen. They also have like book signings, and they also have events for like young adults and kids. So if you wanted to come and bring your kids, they have events for kids too. They have book merch. They have like a STEM section as well where they do STEM activities. And it's just a really huge event, and obviously you won't be able to like all of these like show like each of the one events that are happening at the same time, so you won't be able to go to everything. So before you go, you have to make sure to like pick and choose what you want to go to from beforehand, which will make it so much easier. So to start my day, the event starts at 9:30, but the doors open at 8:30, and you'll want to get there early. Number one, because if you're planning to do shopping, or if you're planning to buy book merch like sweaters, hoodies, or even buy books for signing, the lines for the checkout get so long. Like right when this convention starts at 9:30, the lines are so long, and if you're spending the entire like an hour standing in line to buy something, you probably will miss out on one of the lectures you were planning to attend. So if you get there at 8:30 like I did, there's gonna be a long line outside of the convention center, which was like shown in the first video that I like at the beginning of this video. But it goes through pretty fast. You just go through security and you go through, and we got there around 8:15, so we stood in the line outside the building for like 15 minutes. And if you wanted at that time, you could like get breakfast, but they also have food places inside the convention center. And then at 8:30 the doors open, we went inside, and that's when we walked through. And the first thing you do is that they have a lot of little freebies. So as soon as you enter, there's like a little C-SPAN station. They give you like a tote bag, which I don't have right now, it's downstairs, but it was like a pretty big size tote bag that says National Book Festival on it. And then they also give you one of these schedule maps, but they also have like big posters of these like standing around the hallways, so even if your phone dies or you don't have it, then you'll be able to see it there. They give you like one of these really nice things. It's like a bunch of sticky notes and then these tabs. So like this is like from C-SPAN. And then I have like a box here full of all the stuff I got there. So I'm just gonna open it up so I can show you guys. And then I would suggest that you bring your own books for signing, but if you don't have your own books, then they have books there that you can buy to get signed. They also, this was probably my favorite freebie, they give you this huge poster that like down here it says National Book Convention Festival 2024, and then they have like a little like, this is like their logo. They have a bunch of like hoodies and t-shirts there with like this logo on it, so like this is really nice, and it's purple, so it's gonna really match with my room once I figure out where to hang it up. And then for shopping, there were a lot of things. They had book journals, bookmarks, books, hoodies. My favorite thing probably there is that they had little t-shirts with like the names of books. So they had like one for Emma, so it said Emma on it with flowers, or Pride and Prejudice, or they had one for Corduroy, or Ender's Game, like literally so many, but they were $35 each, and I didn't really want to spend $35 on a t-shirt, but if that's something you're looking for, it would be a great buy. What I got is this little book nook. It is like so cute. It like comes with all the things you need to make it. It's like a little bookshop. They had another one too, but this one looked cuter to me. It's like a little bookshop, and it was only $25, which probably will seem expensive, but if you look online on like Amazon or like anywhere else, these book nooks are usually ranging from like $40 to like $65-$70. So this was a steal in my opinion, and this is the only thing I got, just because I brought my own books and I wasn't really interested in buying any hoodies or anything. Plus they had so many freebies already, so this was the only purchase I got. But they do have really great tote bags. They have bookends, candles, mugs, snow globes, like magnets, everything you could imagine. Now when you walk into the festival, if you got there early we did at like 8:30, the first place you should go to is the main stage. No, wait, is that where I'm saying? No, the first place you should go to is floor 2, the Library of Congress Pavilion. That whole area, it's probably like the second clip in my video. Basically over there they have all their sponsors, which have like set up little tables so you can go visit. Some highlights for me were probably the American Psychological Association, because they had like free books and books they were selling there, so I thought that was really interesting. Scholastic was giving out free books as well, but the lines for that were really long. They also had, each state had their own little like table. So I'm from Minnesota, so I went to the Minnesota table, and they actually had like a little, at one time Abby Jimenez, who's from Minnesota, she came there and did her own book signing, and the line was so much shorter, so that's where I got my book signed, but I'll get to that later. And so each state, you can go visit your state and see what they have there. Let me think. They had like a STEM area, and they had a bunch of like little like because this was the Library of Congress sponsored, they had a bunch of tables for like American history, and like they were giving out like little freebies like this bookmark or like this map. I got like this bookmark, so you can just go visit, and you probably won't have time if you're going to be attending sessions the entire time, but since we got there early and during lunchtime, this is what I was doing. I was getting freebies and listening to the little talks at the little stations. And this little cute Statue of Liberty, and then the back of these, they have like whatever their booth was about. This was Eleanor Roosevelt's handprint. I thought that was pretty cool. I had to fold it to bring it home, but it would have been nice if it didn't have a fold in it. This was nice bookmark. This is about manuscripts. Let me see. Was there anything else I brought? And obviously, I did go to DC. The plan for my trip to DC was based around the book convention, but I did go there for a week, so I did lots of other things. If you want a video like just separate about things to do there, then just let me know, because like I went to a lot of different museums. I love like collecting little maps and stuff, so I brought back stuff from each of the museums I went to. So if you want to like know about that, then just let me know and I'll do a separate video. But this video is about the book convention. So once I got there, we went and explored all the little booths. We did shopping. That was for around an hour. And then at 9:30, I attended my first session. So how it works is that as you can see here, at 9:30 they have all of these different sessions with different authors, and you just basically have to choose one session to attend. So the one I chose I was mostly interested in the young adult session, so I went to My Heritage is My Weapon, YA Fantasy with Tomi Adeyemi and Vanessa Lee. And if you didn't know, Tomi Adeyemi wrote Children of Blood and Bone, which is a great book, so I really wanted to attend that session. It was in room 204, and what you have to keep in mind is just because the session starts at 9:30 doesn't mean you're gonna get a seat if you get there at 9:30. You have to get there earlier, because once all the seats get filled up, there's no standing room. You just have to wait in a line, and like if someone leaves to go to the bathroom, then you can get their seat. Like, that's just how it works. Or if someone is leaving the session early because they want to attend something else at the same time, then you can get their seat. So we got there probably around like 15 minutes before the session started. We got a seat easily. Wasn't in the front row, it was way in the back, but we still got it at least. This was me and my dad. So we attended the session. Tomi Adeyemi is a great speaker. She's hilarious. It was such a good session. Vanessa Lee was very inspiring. She's like a young author too, so it was nice to listen to that. It was a great session. And at like the end of the session, 20 minutes before the end of the session, they actually have like a Q&A where you can like stand in lines and talk to the authors. There's no, like, you're not allowed to just talk to them. It has to be like you have a question. So if you have a question about how they wrote their books or what they're doing now or stuff like that, then you can do that. And so that was really nice. And if you get in the line early and you finish early, then you can get to your next session early, which is good because basically how they have the timings is that in between each session there's like 20 minutes. That way you can get there early. So, or if there's like a long walk, so you can attend your full session. You don't have to worry about leaving early, but if you wanted to, you could. So now that was my first session. Then that ended at 10:30. So each of the sessions is around an hour, but some of them are shorter. For example, they have picture books, and if you have a child, they actually have like read alouds, like where they like the author sits and reads their book. If it's like a picture book, aloud to like the kids, and they can like sit on the carpet. So if you have a kid, you can just leave them there while you attend your session, and those are around like half an hour. And then they also have so that's in the story district, which was here. And then they also have the STEM district, where they have little like science experiment things that your child can like sit in, so that like they have things for kids. If you want to go and you want to bring your kid, then there are things for your kid to do. Now at 10:30 I went to my second session, which one did I go to? So it ended at 10:30 and the next session started at 10:50, and I went to Presumed Guilty YA Thrillers with K.A. Cobell and Andrew Joseph White. And I love thrillers. I love YA thrillers. This was such a good session. They were basically talking about how the two authors like used like their heritage and like things that they included in the story besides the thriller aspect, like the friendship aspect, and just things that were helping like move the story forward. It was such a good thing. I really want to read Kate Cobell's book now because I'm really interested in it, and she was a great speaker. And that was a great, I actually didn't go to the Q&A where I was asking authors just because I didn't know there was going to be a Q&A. I didn't have any questions prepared, and I didn't want to like hold up the line or anything because I'm sure there were other people. So I didn't do that, but I did enjoy the session. And then after that ended at 11:50, I went to my next session, which started at 12:10, which was How Honest Can I Be? Memoirs That Go There, with Kemone Felix and Sophia Sinclair. They're two authors who wrote memoirs, and one of the authors wrote their memoirs in verse, which was really interesting to me because I am currently in the middle of writing a memoir in verse. So it was just really inspiring, and I really want to read her book. This was such a good session. This was probably my favorite session because they actually read parts of their book. And if you've ever like heard an author read their own free verse or read their own poetry, it's just a different experience because you can really hear the emotion. It was just such a good session. This one was actually the biggest session I attended. It was like in a huge room. It's the video like which like with like the huge room, there was actually a lot of sitting area here, so even people who were late got seats here. And it was just such a great session. They were both great speakers. And that session ended at sorry, my voice is like gone. Session ended at 1:10, and here's where I decided to do lunch because there were no sessions that I wanted to attend at 1:30. There were sessions at 1:30, just not ones I wanted to attend, so I decided to do lunch at this time. They have eating places in the convention center, but there are a lot of eating places in walking distance as well. So my dad and I just walked to like this Mexican fast food place similar to Chipotle. We ate there quickly because it wasn't like a restaurant, it was just like a fast food area, so it was easy. I would suggest picking like a fast food place to eat or eating in the convention center just because you want to make it in time for your next session. So we ate there, we walked back, we even had time to like get coffee on the way back. There's a Starbucks near there. There's also like other local coffee shops, and there's also interestingly an Apple store near there. So we went and like just like walked in there just to look around. But yeah, there's like a bunch of places in walking distance. And actually the convention center itself was walking distance from our hotel. We stayed at a Comfort Inn, and it was only a 10 minutes walk from the convention center, so we just walked there in the morning. It was super easy. But obviously you could take the metro or Uber as well. And then so now we finished lunch, and my next thing was, this was like my most interesting one. It was from 2 to 2:30. It was in the Library of Congress Pavilion. It was called National Treasures, a behind-the-scenes look at the new Library of Congress exhibit. And basically, it was just a little pavilion. You probably see it in the video I took. It was very little. They only had like 30 seats, but you could stand for that one. There was standing area, so I just stood on the side, and they had a little presentation about their new Library of Congress exhibit, which is super interesting. I actually did tour the Library of Congress, but I did not see this exhibit because I don't think it's coming until next year. But it was so interesting. They were talking about all the different things that they're gonna have in the new exhibit. It was like sort of combining like history with science. They had like memory, a lot of psychology stuff, which was super interesting. And yeah, so it was a nice 30-minute session. And I also forgot to mention they do have like sign language, like interpreters for like all the sessions, including even this like small one. Even the smallest sessions, they do have it, which if that's something you need, then that would be great. And then I'm not sure how talking to the authors works when the Q&A, if they interpret for you, but I'm sure there's some sort of accommodation. I just don't know. And then so that ended at 2:30. This was just my shortest thing. And then at 2:50 I went to Poetry Unlocks Us, YA novels in verse with Safia El-Hilo and Tony Keith Jr. I'm a big fan of novels in verse. I'm a big fan of poetry. This was probably my second favorite session because they also did do readings from their book. Tony Keith Jr. was hilarious. He was just a great speaker, and so was Safia. They were both great. I love their stories, and I really want to read their books now. It was a great talk. They were talking about how their lives influenced their novels, how what they included in their novels from their lives, what they didn't, how they were preserving their identities, and it was just such a great session. And this one ended at 3:50. Now there were so many more there were so many more things after this, but this was the time I wanted to go for book signing. Obviously there was book signing earlier in the day, but all the authors that I wanted book signatures from were from 4 to 6. That was like the timing for all of them. Now me and my dad split up to get book signatures. Each of us stood in one line just because the lines are so long, especially for popular authors. It's not even one line, it's like 8 lines. Like my dad was like the last person in like the 8th line, and like it was just super long. But when you get there, you do have a chance to converse with the authors. You can take photos with them. They sign your name, and you have to put like a little sticky note with your name on it because they dedicate it to you, the autograph. And signing is just a great experience. So I would say you probably won't get to every single author unless you're coming to the convention simply for book signing. If you're planning not to attend any of the lectures, you just want book signing, then you'll probably be able to get to as many authors as you want. Other than that, pick and choose your favorites because you probably won't get to them all. I only chose 3 authors. I wanted signatures from Abby Jimenez, who as you guys know, I do thrift all my books, but I bought this book because I really wanted her signature and I didn't have any of her books. I couldn't find them at any Goodwill, so I did buy this one, but I got it from Amazon. It was only $8, so it was pretty good. And now it was for her signature. I actually got lucky. I didn't have to wait in her line just because when I went to visit the Minnesota booth, she's obviously from Minnesota, and she was actually sitting there giving out signatures before her own signing time. It was such a short line, so I got her signature. When she was sitting at the booth, it was a little faster. She was signing and she was just handing out stickers. There wasn't a lot of time to talk, so I didn't get it signed to me, but I did stick the sticker in the book, and that's her signature. And even though I didn't get to take a picture or anything, I was happy because I didn't have to stand in line. It was a great experience. So this is the book I got signed by her. And then I stood in Marie Lou's line while my dad stood in Christopher Paolini's line, just because his line was super long, but Marie Lou's was moving faster. So even if I got there earlier, my dad wasn't interested in meeting the authors or anything. He was just there for me. So he was like standing in the line, and then I would swap with him once it was time. So Marie Lou, I did get a photo with her. The line moved pretty fast. I think it was probably around 45 minutes in total that I waited. You can read, you can watch something on your phone. You don't have to be attentive. You can just do whatever you want while you're waiting in line. But this is my copy of Champion. I got this from a book sale, and it's a little dirty just because I took off all the stickers. They had library stickers on them, so I took them off. And here is the signature I got. Guys, I did not do this. Of course, it's a used books or something, but she said to Isa, and then she signed it, and I got a picture with her, and I was so happy. She's like one of my favorite authors. Legend is one of my favorite books ever, so I was so excited. Then, oh, I have more freebies here in my box. They also had like the book award finalists. They were like giving out like these little book award finalist things, so if you were interested in that, I'm sure they have it on their web. Oh, also I forgot to mention, they live stream all their events. So even if you weren't able to make it, you can just go onto their website and watch it afterwards. So even if you did go, but there were 2 sessions at the same time, you can pick the one that you more want to go to, and then you can watch the other one later, which was great. More bookmarks. What is this? Oh, this is from the museum. And these were the Minnesota Book Awards that I got from their booth. Okay, and then here's the last book I wanted to get signed, Eragon. Unfortunately, the line was just too long and I wasn't able to get this one signed. But maybe next year, maybe some other time. His line was so long. Even with my dad sending the line, we just weren't able to do it. So maybe next time. But I did get my 2 books signed, and I did get to attend a lot of lectures, so I'm very grateful. Now, at this time, I was planning to go to the library literary trivia from 6 to 7:30, which was on L Street Bridge. But something came up and we did have to leave early, so we did leave around 5:30. We didn't get to go to the trivia, but I was happy with the things I did get to do. I did get to attend lots of the lectures that I wanted to attend, and I also got 2 of my favorite books signed, and those were the 2 books that were highest on my list. I'm so glad. So then we did leave, and we did get dinner from a place near there. And so yeah, that was my experience. I really enjoyed it. I think if you're a bookworm, if you're a book lover, if you live in DC and you don't want to travel, then great. If you live near there, it's such a great event to go there. And DC is a place where there's so much to do, so just go for a week, and I promise, there are like so many Smithsonian museums, so many things to do. You will not get bored. Even you spend one day at the convention, spend the rest of the week touring the city, it's gonna be great. And if you're going just for the convention itself, I honestly think it was worth it. It was so fun. I love seeing the authors. I love shopping, seeing all the little pop-ups, and just attending the lectures. It was great. And if you wanted to participate in the Q&A, I'm sure this would be great for you if you always wanted to ask your favorite authors a question or something. So yeah, I think it was a great experience, and I definitely would do it again. And yeah, that's I hope I didn't miss anything out. If you have any questions, just let me know down below and I'll make sure to answer them. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week with a new video.